it just your body's like, that, more of that. There we go. That's what we're looking
I mean,
for.
I think it's a primal thing. I think it's just like this is satisfaction. It really is.
Well, the vegan army has they've got their troops pointed in your direction, right?
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean,
I've got a bunch of tweets about you, and one of the tweets was talking about your record as a doctor in New Mexico and stuff that you and I went back and forth about.
Sure.
So let's like, get that out and try to figure out what the issue was.
Sure. All right. So I was, like I said, I'll just go to my background a little bit. So I go to medical school. I go to degree in biology. Then I go to medical school. Then I drop out of medical school to play professional rugby. I had this kind of crazy career. Then I go into the military and I launch nuclear bombs for, 5 years.
Nuclear bombs?
Yeah. I was a nuclear bomb launch officer for about 5 years.
Where do you still launch nuclear bombs?
Well, I mean, up in Wyoming, and Nebraska, and Colorado, and there's.
They actually detonate them?
No. That's where you shoot them from.
Right. So you didn't actually launch them, but you were working on them.
I was a guy that if we went to war, if Donald Trump says we want to nuke North Korea, I would have been the guy that goes boom, presses the button. Right. So I did that. So they do all this crazy psychological screening to make sure you're not some psychopath. So I'm this like straight, ethical guy that's just like a good just a good solid guy, top secret clearance and all this stuff. So I do all this stuff. So then I go play rugby, and then I get tired of getting my head kicked in. I was playing. I remember my last match, I was playing against some Russian team. I'm laying on the ground, and they're just teeing off on my head, kicking me in the head. I got blood's coming out of my ears, and I'm 30 years old. I'm like, F it, I'm going to go back to medical school. So I go back to medical school, but the military pays for it this time. So then, I do my time and go through school, get my training. I graduate right at the top of my class in medical school. Because to get in orthopedics, you gotta be like, it's one of these real competitive fields. So you gotta be really at the top of the class to do that. So I do that stuff, do all my training, bust my ass, do really well, get all these awards and training. Then I get to the military, and then they send me to war. Right? So they send me to Afghanistan. And this is, if it's okay, I'll tell you a little bit about this.
Yeah, please.
So I come out of training, that line of training, and me and this other dude, his name's Tom Large. He's an excellent surgeon, just a great guy, great people. Me and him are the only two guys at the main center in Afghanistan. So you fly out there, it takes you about 3 days. You go to Bangor, Maine, and these old ladies give you lobster bisque on the way out. It's kind of cool. Then you fly into Turkey, and then we sat there for like 6 hours on a runway. Wouldn't let us move. They wouldn't let us off the plane. And then they fly us into Kyrgyzstan, which is, they used to be part of the Soviet Union. So we've got a U.S. base in what was usually Soviet Union. So we stay there for a while, and it's freezing cold. And then we get on this C-130, which is a military plane. You're packed in there with the cargo, and you fly into Afghanistan. And they're shooting at you, so they turn off the lights so so hopefully they don't hit you. They're shooting at you as you come in. So we get in there, and then I get off the plane, and then they put you in this giant hall with like 300 guys on cots. First night, and then we go to the first day to go to work, right? And we're taking over from the Army, and I was in the Air Force at the time. So we're taking over from the Army. The first thing that rolls in is this I remember this, man. It was like welcome to fucking war. There was a guy, a Canadian guy. He was a 23-year-old kid. He was a Special Forces guy, full beard, because, the Special Force guys would wear beards so they could blend in, right? Both legs blown right off. I mean, like holy shit, So this is the stuff that's got real. So every day, boom, 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 crazy trauma. We would get people blown up by bombs. I mean, their legs are being gone. I mean, the third day we got there, we had a kid. He was a 17-year-old kid. And this is an enemy. We were taking care of enemies too, right? He's setting up a roadside bomb to kill our guys, right? He's a 17-year-old kid from Pakistan. He blows himself up. Blows up both his legs above the knee, blows off one of his arms and most of his hands. So he's basically, he's got nothing left. So we're operating on this guy. We do all these operations to basically save the kid's life, even though he's an enemy, because as a physician, that's just your job.
Right.
So what happens to this guy is, so we fix him up. It takes us, a month to get him stabilized, and they take him out the gate. The Afghan army just goes and shoots him in the head.
Really?
We're like, fuck. We're like, what the hell are we doing here? It's like we're doing all this work, and they just got and killed these people.
They did that because they knew who he was
and
what he had done?
They knew he was an enemy, and so, they don't,
They don't play games.
They don't play games, and so, and this happened the other way, too, around. We saw this.
That seems like a lot of wasted money.
It is. It's a waste. It's heartbreaking. You get in there, and so I'm getting these people there blown up by rockets, their whole legs blown.
Do you get attached to, it's like, even if it's the enemy, like you're in the military, you're working as a surgeon, you're overseas, you're taking care of, obviously it's a 17-year-old kid.
Right.
Like, it's almost like it's not even his fault.
This is the thing. A lot of it was the Taliban at the time, and these guys are like, if you don't come fight for us, we're going to kill your family.
Right.
And so a lot of these little kids are out there doing this. They don't. That's not what they want to do. It's not like they're the big guys. So you kind of do. I mean, it's like, hey, it's not my job to punish these people. It's my job to take care of these people. So,
were you there when they shot the kid, or did you just hear
no,
about it?
we just heard about it. We're like, what happened to him? Well, they killed him. We heard about several of our patients this happened to, so it was pretty frustrating. So we get in there, and there's like people little kids. We're getting these little kids, 2, 3-year-old kids, stepping on landmines, the legs blown off.
Jesus.
We had one little 3-year-old kid. Somebody drug him behind a truck for like a mile, and they drug this kid through the streets, to the rough asphalt street, and his legs fucking ripped off. His kid's road rash. Actually, his legs were ripped off. He was burned everywhere, and we're in there treating his stuff.
Why did they do that to him?
I don't know, just mad at their parents. I don't know. It's just this is not a life-friendly place, right? Life is inconsequential there. We had a pediatrician who was talking to this guy who was a farmer, right? And he was telling us about his tractor, right? He was real proud he had a tractor because it's real expensive to have a tractor in there. So what he would do, because tractor's real valuable, he would have his kids walk in front of the tractor so they didn't hit any landmines.
Oh my God.
So if your kid he's like, I can make another kid.
Oh
I can't afford him. So
God.
this is the mentality there. It's just.
God. Oh my God. I can't even hear this.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. So we get in there.
Could you imagine? You have kids. Could you imagine telling your fucking kid to walk in front of landmines?
I couldn't do it. It would be awful.
Oh Jesus Christ.
So we get this stuff, and then it just keeps getting worse. It's like every day we get these people with, they're blown up, and you're looking at their hip socket. You're like, a guy's laying there with